left-wing protesters all around the world have been destroying statues. In Great Britain, they've even destroyed a Gandhi statue. Here in America, they're taking down Columbus, Nathan Rutherford Forrest, all kinds of Civil War veterans and all that. They're taking down the statues, ripping down the statues, just complete disrespect for history. In Columbus, a man was just charged for, taking down a Columbus statue in Richmond. An elementary school teacher was just charged for being the one who took the statue down.
Yep.
Very interesting. What do you make of the left-wingers all over the world attacking these historical statues?
It's a very slippery slope, and trying to sanitize history, I guess, by taking down the different statues. And I would caution people to be careful, because once you start with one group, it's going to be the next group later on.
Over the weekend, we seen General Milley. I hope I'm saying it right. It might be General Miley. Miley. He apologized for appearing in the photo op at St. John's Church after it was burned down, in a disgraceful apology that showed just total weakness and spinelessness. I was highly disappointed in General Miley. It's just another general interjecting himself into politics. We never used to see this very often. But now, after General Mattis and General Kelly and now General Miley, it's just becoming more and more of a trend for generals to disrespect the commander-in-chief. Wouldn't you say, Rob?
Yeah, I had an issue with what he had said as well. They were saying that there is a long-term understanding agreement or something like that with these military guys, that they are not supposed to participate in anything that's political. And when he gave his press conference, he came on, he said, hey, I should not have been there because it was a political matter, and these are the reasons why, that military officers aren't supposed to get involved with domestic politics. Okay, now, Aspinger had said the same thing, that he was completely unaware that the president was going to go there for a photo op. Okay, so if that's the military stance, that you're not supposed to go there or participate in anything that's political, I understand it. But at the same time, to give a press conference of that nature during this heightened political season, they should have exercised better judgment. Now, the president has said nothing about it. He said, okay, if generals are supposed to do that, okay, fine. And and I think he handled this right, didn't say anything. But what concerns me is that when these guys start coming out and speaking out, saying something completely different than what the president is saying, it makes it seem as if though they're sending out an alarm to other individuals in the military that, hey, we need to push back on this president. Because remember, Ambassador Nikki Haley even said that during her days in the White House, I think it was John Kelly and Rex Tillerson had come to her and they were telling her, hey, we've got to, get together to take this guy out because he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. And my question to anyone that's looking at this, what exactly is the president doing to harm the country? Okay, you might not like his tweets, but if Twitter was popular when Obama was the president, he would be tweeting also. So what exactly is he doing that's going to harm the country? I can't figure it out. I don't see it. So it's troubling when you hear these people saying he's doing something that he shouldn't be doing, and we've got to take him out. Please point it out to me, because standing up to other countries and calling them out for their BS helps this country. Calling out China helps this country. Calling out the fake politicians like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and that Nadler guy, that helps this country. Standing up to the rioters, and they are rioters. Yes, you have some people that are protesting. But to say that the president is going to have the military to attack American citizens, when you know that's not the case, when you know that you're spending a lie CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, New York Times, Washington Post, and all these other liberal mags. You know that's not the truth. And for Americans who are sitting there buying into this garbage, when you need to, don't take my word for it, use Google and Google everything that he's doing and everything that they're saying, and you will see the inconsistencies, and you will see that they're lying to you the same way they lied about the Russian collusion, the same way they lied to you about this whole impeachment, the same way the New York Times lied about George Bush saying that he wasn't going to support the president and Mitt Romney. No, later on they might decide not to, but for you guys to come up with a source said this, it's ridiculous. So when I see these military guys coming out there, I'm like, really? It's like, be seen and not heard. And I've got to say this also. Remember, Barack Obama fired McAllister, and he fired Mad Dog. What was his name? Mad Dog.
Mattis.
Gosh, Mattis. He fired them because Mattis wanted to keep people in Afghanistan. But Crystal didn't like the way Obama was managing the troops. So these guys spoke out. But the media was like okay with that. Well, not managing the troops, but commanding the troops. So, I mean, when they get their hair all caught in a big fireball, oh, he said this, he said that. And it's like, but this guy did the same thing. And you didn't care. So what's the issue? Well, the issue is that they don't like President Trump. They have a severe hatred for him. That's what it is.
Seemed like the country was pretty unified in that George Floyd was wrongfully murdered in Minneapolis, but in Atlanta we're seeing a different situation with Rayshard Brooks, who was resisting arrest. He first got pulled over for he was asleep in his car. It would have been a DUI stop, I believe, in a Wendy's parking lot. And it turns out Mr. Brooks ended up fighting with the police. You can see on the video him throwing him to the ground. And he even grabbed a taser from a police officer and started on the run. And then he got shot. Well, to me, that's just the consequences of fighting with the police. However, liberals do not see it this way. In Atlanta, we've seen a huge uproar last night. They blocked the interstate for several hours. Traffic was backed up several miles. We also seen them loot and burn the Wendy's that the incident took place at. They torched the place. It's just another incident of entitled thugs who are not even doing the research this time around. I mean, this guy was not murdered for no reason. I mean, what did you make of the tape of Rayshard Brooks, and what did you think of everyone acting like this is just another incident of police brutality?
Well, yeah, a couple of things. I mean, I saw the tape. Like you said, everyone was uniform in saying that what happened to George Floyd should not have happened. I mean, the guy was killed on camera. Now, we weren't there, and they're saying that there are other things that transpired. I don't think the guy resisted arrest. He did not resist arrest. I see that there is a lot of conspiracy theories that are out there now saying, oh, he's alive. It's not him. It was someone else. The man is dead. George Floyd is dead. God rest his soul. He's dead. George Floyd is not a martyr. George Floyd is not a hero. What happened to George Floyd is unfortunate. George Floyd should not be compared to Martin Luther King, as Joe Biden so easily did not too long ago. I mean, to me, that's an affront. Black people should push back. George Floyd is not Martin Luther King. George Floyd died in a moment, in a point in time. Okay, what happened again should not have happened. But now there's this groundswell rather, to make him some martyr, some hero. I mean, that's really unfortunate, and it should not be happening. I mean, let's put it into context. And you know what's happening here? Once again, liberals are trying to hijack the death of this man, and they're trying to push it up on black people so that they'll be mad at the president. And I mind you, or should I remind you, that under Barack Obama, black president, 2 terms, 2 black attorney generals, he did absolutely nothing to curb police brutality that we see, that people are ascribing this to. And I say that because 2 black attorney generals, they could have passed down some law or said something to say, hey, we need to change things. Let's look at the police system. Let's try to get an understanding and tell police, hey, all these things you guys are running after, they're petty crimes. Leave them alone. Let's focus on the bigger picture. But Barack Obama didn't do that. What did he do? He attacked the police. So now, fast forward. Rayshard in Atlanta, Georgia. The man was asleep. Now, when I look at this, I would say to the police, he's asleep, leave him, let him be, don't worry about it, okay? Because if you do anything, of course, the media, the public is going to be against you. Mm-hmm. I would have just looked the other way and said, okay, he's asleep, let someone pull him out the car and kick him in the butt. Who cares? I've got bigger fish to fry. That being said, that did not happen, okay? They went to the guy to try to wake him up. They gave him a breathalyzer. Mm-hmm. Okay, the alcohol was on his breath. They say, oh, no, that's a no-no. So they proceeded to arrest him.
Yeah, cops just can't win because if they would have left, if they would have left him alone, he could have killed someone up the road in a drunken driving accident.
Right. He could have killed someone, and then probably they would have pushed back and said, "Oh, well, why didn't they arrest him?" Okay,
absolutely.
So they tried to arrest the guy. Okay, when you are accosted by the police, when the police come to you, you cannot resist arrest. You may not want to go to jail. I understand that. But trying to fight the police, as this guy did, and he gave them a run for their money because he flipped over 2 police officers.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
If it was just one of them, I think he'd have got away.
Oh, probably so. Okay, now he flipped them over. He got the guy's taser, and the videotape does show him pointing the taser at the police officer. And it's my understanding when the police feel as if though their life is being threatened, they can defend themselves. Now, you have a lot of people say, well, this always happens with black people. Had he been a white man, the police probably would have shot him. Had he been this, there are always a what ifs. We can say what ifs until the cows come home. Fact of the matter is the guy should not have tried to resist being arrested. Okay, because we can also say that had he been a white guy, he probably would have tried to resist being arrested. And even had he tried, he probably would have pulled the gun or the taser as this guy had done. So we have to put things into context. I know what's out there now. It does not look good. Being a black man, me looking at this, I'm like, what the heck is going on? But I would say to my black brothers and sisters, okay, again, you cannot resist being arrested. Stop. Live to see another day. The moment this guy decided to wrestle the police, he decided to say, hey, my life doesn't matter, and I'm going to put my life in your hand because you're probably going to push back. You can't do that.
How much credibility does the Black Lives Matter movement lose when they treat this like it was another just murder from police when the video evidence clearly shows otherwise?
Well, it depends on which part of the Black Lives segment group you're looking at. Because you have one group, the name Black Lives Matter, it sounds beautiful. It sounds great, like, hey, they're concerned with black lives. But then their actionable items is something completely different. Mm-hmm. And if you do a little research to find out who the founders of Black Lives Matter was, it would raise questions. I think just the other day, one of the founders, they were having a live town hall, and the person was being asked, what are you doing with the money that you guys have been receiving? Because apparently they received a substantial donation. And she stumbled over the question. So they kept pushing back at her saying, what are you doing with the money? And she never did. She never could give a straight answer. And I would venture to say, as most of these groups, they start out with good intentions, but then once the money starts coming in, they start living high on the hog. So what is their take on this and how people are viewing them? I think that many people view them with skepticism. But putting it into context, because so many people hate the current president, they really don't care. They want to try and put more fuel to this fire to make it seem as if though, hey, the president is racist, this group is standing up to a racist man. When in actuality, that is not the case at all.